Neverness to Everness. They released a new trailer just yesterday, and there's tons of gameplay you can find online. I've already watched it. Let's talk about it. So if you're new here and you've never seen any of my videos, I'm gonna tell you right now, I keep things very honest, very truthful. I'm giving you my perspective, right? It is currently 12:47 p.m. I legitimately did this an hour ago, where I took notes and watched multiple gameplay videos and the trailer they released. I did that for over an hour. And now, I forgot everything that I wrote down. Now, whether you take that as a good thing or a bad thing, that says to me, this game is very forgettable. The only thing I can remember about this game is that you can drive cars, and that's it. And if you haven't seen my previous video, go check that out. It is one of the most polarizing videos on my channel. You guys either really liked it or really didn't like it, but that's fine. I'm back with another opinion. And this time, I'm gonna be giving you 3 different perspectives, right? The first one are the good things that I liked about this game. The second one are the bad things about this game. And the third thing are just genuine questions that I had about this game. Because at this point, even with all these trailers, I don't know what the hell is going on. And unless you've played the game and can speak Chinese, then you probably won't know what's going on if you can't do any of those things. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first thing on my good list is that you can walk into a lot of the buildings with 0 loading screens. Now, there are a lot of buildings that you can't walk into and they're just, blank buildings. But for the ones that you can walk into, there's 0 loading screens. There's no unnecessary white screen or black screen. It's just the doors open up and you can go in. And they tend to be multiple stories as well. So you can just go in them, walk up the stairs, climb up the wall, be at the top of the building already. Like, I like that. A lot of more games should try to do that, especially because this is coming out on mobile and PC. That's very impressive. We haven't seen any mobile gameplay, which again is very alarming to me because most people are going to be playing this probably on mobile. But as of right now, it's running pretty well. We'll just leave that for how they're going to take it on mobile. Number 2, the driving looks fun. The cars sound good, and being able to drift and go fast in the cars is pretty dope. I like that. I wouldn't want the cars to be in this game if you could only drive like 40 miles per hour or something like that. Being able to fly down the street going like 100 miles per hour and sliding and skirting and leaving drift marks, like, that's pretty cool. I like that. They definitely took their time on that, and the cars sound really good. I was wondering if it was going to sound kind of cartoony, but the cars sound like they have an impact, like that punch. They're like, it sounds good. I like that. I like that. I'll touch on more about the cars later on as well. Number 3, the world is beautiful. It has a day and night cycle with a weather system. They have some really unique areas too. Like there's this train area that goes a little bit underwater, so you're like driving across like the coastal sea and everything. Like there's beautiful water areas. They have suburban areas with lush green trees and like basketball courts and stuff like that. Like, it looks pretty. Whether we can interact with it or not, it looks eye test. It looks really good. And then they have the dense downtown areas. Like, they definitely made a nice city that looks livable. Like, it looks like if you were to go there, like, oh yeah, I could live here. You know what I mean? Number 4, there's no stamina while sprinting. Thank you. There is a dash meter. There's 3 dashes that have a cooldown, but when you sprint, there's no stamina. But this is a half point because the sprinting is still slow as fuck. I don't understand, why do games not just put a momentum system with their sprinting, especially when sprinting is going to be a main source of transportation besides cars. Like, the sprinting is super slow, and depending on the character you're using, it's going to be even slower because you have that Klee looking character who's even slower than the regular characters, and they're already slow. So that's fun. It's not fun, but half point. I like the idea that there's no stamina, but speed up the running. There's no reason for it to be that slow. You can climb in this game. That was one of my questions from the very beginning. I literally, in my other video, I was like, can we even climb in this game? And no one showed anything about climbing besides the pink-haired girl who could run up walls. And I'm like, that's annoying if only she can climb. I'm like, what's the point then? But everyone can climb. It seems like everyone can also run up walls as well, but they have this weird stagger stance when they're running up the wall. Like, they'll run up the wall and then they'll slip. And I'm like, what? So I don't know how to take that. Maybe, like, I don't know, that seems kind of lame in my opinion. Maybe terrain has something to play with it because the character they were using, they were running up a wall that had grass on the side of it as well, so maybe they were slipping on the grass. But okay, we'll just have to see. But as of right now, you can climb up walls at least, and there is stamina when you climb up the walls, so I'll touch on that later as well. Another plus I have is you can drive your car inside of buildings. It adds zero substance. There's no reason to be able to do this, but I just put it here because it's funny. Imagine driving your car inside of a building and no one reacts. So if you can fit your car in the door, you can get in. Another plus I have is you can call your cars to you, kind of like GTA or Cyberpunk, which I really like. That is dope. You can call your cars to you, and I will give them another plus that other games don't do, is that it comes directly to you, and it stops next to you like 5 feet away from you, or it gets in your face. I like that because Cyberpunk is notorious for this, where you'll call your car and that shit's still 100 miles away and you gotta run to it anyways, and you're like, I should have just ran there in the first place, or I could have just ran to the fast travel. But like, I like that the car actually comes to you and stops in front of you. So W, I like that. And another little feature that I thought was pretty cool is you can ride the public transportation. It serves no purpose other than you can do it. You can get on a bus, you can sit down on the seat too, like it's not like you just stand there or stand on top of it. You can go inside the bus and sit down and be in first person, or watch from a different camera angle and ride the bus. You can ride the train. Not sure if there's taxis. I haven't seen any taxis yet that you can ride in, but like those things, if you want to do that, if you want to role play and, hey guys, let's get on the train, you can do it if you want to. Yep. Now that was all the good things that I found from the endless videos I've watched and the gameplay trailers. Now I'm going to talk about the bad things. Number one, that traversal is slow as fuck. That's one of my biggest complaints. This map is pretty sizable from what I'm seeing, and there's different levels of it too. So it's like, you might be on the freeway that's above the city, and you can jump off the freeway and then go down on the ground. And there's your other source of transportation, but running is super slow. It is even when you dash, it's kind of ridiculous. The climbing is also slow. The gliding is also slow. There's no like boost. Like, even if it was a temporary boost while gliding where you could like swing yourself so you can make yourself go faster, like I would like that. There's nothing here. It's just, you just glide super slow, you run super slow. L, that's an L. Tired of all these games doing it. And then the thing I mentioned before, when you run up the wall, you slide down it, you trip a little bit, like that's stupid. So take that out. Number two, there's limited vehicles. There's only 4 cars that you can choose from. 2 of them look the same. 2 of them are literally the Porsche, but one has a spoiler. But what's the point when you can put a spoiler on your car? Like, that's where I'm confused. Like, what? It's the same car. There's no motorcycles, even though in the trailer they showed a girl driving a motorcycle, so I don't know what's going on with this game. Yeah, so everyone's gonna have the same car, just a different color. So hopefully they add more colors later on, or more cars later on, so we can be a little bit more unique, because that's kind of the main selling point of having cars. But if you all have the same car, kind of lame. Kind of lame. Number 3, one of the biggest things to being able to roleplay in the game is NPCs are non-interactive. They don't talk. They will talk to each other in a sense of like there'll be a text bubble above their head, but there's no voices. No one said a single word. There's no voices or anything like that. You also can't run them over. Not saying that you need to be able to, but you try to run them over, they all have the same dodge animation. They don't do anything different. Like, one of them doesn't try to jump over the car. One of them doesn't like funnily like try and dive out of the way, or try to like, or falls on their butt. They all do the same animation. Then they stand there, they look at your car, and then they go back to doing whatever they were doing. They don't even get mad that you try to run them over. And like, even if you try and run them over, if you successfully do it, they just phase through your car anyway. So it's like, why do you even give them a dodge animation if you can't run through the, like, what was the purpose of doing that? If you can, they can just go through the car. And yeah, and then they don't get mad. So like, there's no consequences to running them over if you could. Like, they should at least have like a little animation, like, hey, watch where you're going, like shake their hand, or like if they had like a different animation, they should stomp their foot or something, like, hey, I almost just got hit by a car, but they're just like, whoa, that was crazy. Time to go back to Starbucks. Like, they just go back to normal. It's like, what the hell? Like, there's no, that kills immersion. So that's lame. Number 4, these cars are toys. They have no sense of weight to them. Like, they just look, they're just like a thing. You can smash into other cars. Like, you can use your tiny little Porsche and smack a bus out of the way, like a full-sized bus. Buses are like 13,000 pounds, and you can smack into it and it'll fly away like it's a little toy. And then again, no one gets mad, so it just spins out for a second and then goes back on track where it's going. You can bounce other cars out of the way and they do nothing. They don't get mad. They just honk. and they honk instantaneously too. It's not like a delayed and they're like, hey, like watch it. It's literally like the moment you hit them, honk, honk, and it's like, whoa, like bro, you can even love tap them and they'll honk. Like it's quick. And they, again, like I said, they have no weight. Multiple times throughout the videos, the gameplay videos, people are driving off of cliffs with your car and you'll sink like a brick underwater, but then you'll bounce like a ball and you'll be fine. There's no damage that you'll take or anything like that. You'll just bounce with the car. Then when you go to the ocean, right, you try and drive your car in the water, it automatically kicks you out of the car before you get into the water. So you'll just be stopped on the beach with your car there. And then if you get in again and try and drive it a little bit closer to the water, it'll immediately kick you out and then you can't get back in your car. So you can't even drown your own car. Your car also takes like barely any damage, like almost no damage. Like it's almost unrecognizable that you have damage on your car. This guy literally drove his car off the cliff. He slammed into hella walls. He slammed into multiple cars, threw them off the wall, threw them off the road, ran through poles, street lights. And the only thing he had was a crack on his back windshield and chipped paint. That's it. His car wasn't on fire. His car didn't explode. It didn't drive any slow. It drove just as fast, just tiny, minuscule damage to the car. And while I said he did all that, the next point is there's no consequences for doing anything in this game. You can destroy public property. You can destroy public railing. You can run over people, try to run over people. You can drive your car into a building. No cops, no nothing. There's no fine. There's no consequences for doing anything. What's the point? Like, what's the point of me being able to run this bus off the way? It just kind of breaks your immersion because I can just drive through all these cars and they can just move out of the way. Like, there's no point of traffic if I can push the traffic out of the way. Another bad to me, this might be different to you, but to me, I don't like the character designs. The character designs to me are very ugly. They don't go well with the world they're in because everyone looks different. Like, I don't mind them having that type of style, but it just doesn't fit in the world. They look like cosplayers and they look very main character, but not even that good. Like if you compare Zenless Zone Zero, I would say they have the same type of like style in a sense of like urban style, dressing however they want, but like those characters also don't look too different like in Zenless's case because everyone kind of dresses unique. Like even the NPCs have swag to them, like everyone. But in this game, everyone looks like a regular 9-to-5 mom, a 9-to-5 dad, a kid who has to go to school, and then you just have these people all dripped out and teed up and stuff like that, but they don't look, even then, they just still don't look good. And so it just throws you off. It's like Anby looks cool, but she looks like a regular person as well in Zenless's world. Like Billy looks cool, but he looks like a regular person in his world, or like they look tied to a gang. The character designs in this game are just all thrown out the place. They just look like everything. They're like, hey, we should add cat girls, we should add kids, we should add this, we should add a guy with like they just wanted stuff and they just put it all in this game, but it has no theme to it. It just looks weird. My personal taste, if you like it, but I can't see myself summoning for any of these characters essentially. And there's also invisible walls in this game. So you can't go into the water because you can't swim in this game. You can't drive your car into water. You know that big giant city that they always showcase in their videos, like making it seem like this world is double as big as it is? You can't go over there. You cannot drive over there. From what I've seen in the gameplays, again, I'm watching gameplay trailers. It'd be different if I could actually play the game and do it honestly. But from what I'm seeing, this one guy literally drove on a working freeway where other cars were also driving towards the city. A car kept going, and he drove and he slammed into an invisible wall at like 100 miles per hour, and it just stopped him. Again, no damage, but it just boom, and he just stopped. And then it plays like a red little word, basically saying like you can't go there. I can't read Chinese, but it was basically saying you can't go there, obviously. Why? You have this big giant open world map, something that you always showcase. Like when you go in your elevator, you know that city, when you go in your elevator, go to your apartment, that city in the backdrop, yeah, it's that city. You can't go there. It looks done. There's bright lights, there's cars going, there's a working freeway, but I just can't go there because you don't want me to go there. Why? Like, why tease us? Like, you make it seem like that's another place you can go to, and then you're like, no. Like Genshin and not Zenless, Wuthering Waves do it good, where instead of putting it there as if you can go there, they don't even put anything there. They just have like, you know, open random mountains back there, so it doesn't even look like you want to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't entice you to go that way because there's nothing there. Imagine you were playing Genshin, right? And you were playing Mondstadt, and you could see Fontaine the entire time. Imagine for the past 3 years, you can see Fontaine, but they're like, no, you can't go because we don't want you to go. It looks done, but they're just like, nah, you can't go there because we don't want you to go. You know how pissed you'd be? Like, what the fuck? Like, why even put it there? But instead, they put mountains there, and then they expand it later on. Like, why not? In a city's case, I understand. Why not just put, like, construction cones there? Like, hey, can't go here, so no one goes there. So it doesn't even look like you can drive that way, because you're just following traffic. Put construction zones, or like put fog over the city, or make it an enemy territory for now. Make it something like, well, we can't go over there because we literally can't fight the enemies yet because they're too strong for us. And then once we finish the main game, and then once we get new abilities or whatever, then whenever the next update comes out and you're like, yeah, you're finally strong enough to go fight over there, then we can go fight over there. But it's just, there's nothing. It's just there. It literally is a road that you can drive, but then an invisible wall. That's lame. That's super lame. And other games they do this as well. Spider-Man does the same thing, and it's annoying. Like, don't even make it at that point. Make it invisible for us. Make it foggy over there so we can't see it. Something. And then the last negative thing I have is that you can have an apartment, but it doesn't matter because you can't customize anything on that apartment. Like I said in my previous video. Like, what is the point of having an apartment if I can't customize it the way I want? Like, I can't put how many bears I want. I can't change the colors of anything that I want. I just have to pick a preset that you make, and then I have to buy it, and then that's it. And then I can't even interact with the things that are in my apartment. I can't play the piano. I can't get in the bathtub. I can't open my fridge. I can't sleep in my own bed. So what's the fucking point of having an apartment? Just to look at? That's stupid. Hey guys, yeah, don't touch anything. But why not? Because I can't even touch anything. Not that I don't want you to touch anything. I literally just can't touch anything. Now we're moving on to the third point, which is the questions I had. For some reason, when you drive, you turn back into the original character. So you can be using a different character, like the pink-haired girl, for example. She looks relatively the same height as the other girl with the blue hair, with the silver hair. But the moment you get back in the car, you turn back into the silver-haired character. It's not a negative or a positive. It's more so just a question of like, why? Like, was it too hard to make it so where they drive as well? Yeah, they're just sitting there anyways. They're not even like doing anything complex. They're just sitting there. I thought that was interesting. I understand the kid characters turning into the regular character, but like, that's weird. Another question is, why is there no consequences for doing anything? Like, smashing into walls and destroying public property and knocking people off the road with your car in their car, like literally obstructing traffic. Like, why is there no consequences? That's interesting. Another thing is, what is the OBJ? What is the objective of this game? Like, what's the point? Like, at least Genshin, like when it first initially announced, is like, I understood that there was a mystery of finding your sibling, at least. I knew like, oh, I had to find my sibling, and there was a darkness and stuff like that. I don't know what the hell's going on here. You go to a different world? Okay, what else? Like, are we cops? Are we security? Are we like a government agency? Like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, and also, what do you do to make your character stronger? Like, are there going to be artifacts that I have to get? Like, and what are they going to be? Are they going to be boba teas? Are they going to be like enemy? Like, what? Since this is an urban world, like, what am I going to be? What domains am I going to be going to? You have to go fight in the arcade and get the, like what's going to be going on? And then my fourth and final question is, what is the story? Is the story going to be good? Why are the enemies designed this way? Why are they trash cans with arms and legs? Why are they vending machines with arms and legs? Who's the main boss? One, you give us a flaming motorcycle guy, Inferno Rider, and then you give us a trash can with arms and legs. So like, what's the difference between these two? Why are they like this? And why are we the only ones fighting them, you know? And is there a bigger picture? Are there main villains? Like, are we going to have a Tartaglia of this game? Like, you know, there's a lot of questions that I have for this game, but yeah, that's kind of my opinion on this game. I think it's a solid meh out of 10. It did not look impressive to me in the slightest. It's exactly like I said, where it's just going to be a mid game. If you like this game, go ahead and play it. Like, don't let anyone stop you from that, but I don't see this surviving long term to where it's going to be genre groundbreaking, because like, again, there are other games that if they just added a little effort, they would destroy this game. Like Project Mugen, for example. Like, that game looks way better than this game, and we haven't seen anything from it since. But I imagine the moment Project Mugen gets announced and it says it's being released, this game will die, and you can bet on that. I can bet on that. That will happen if Project Mugen releases and it comes out, even if it came out 3 months down the line after this game was released and they announce it. This game can release, right? Say they're like, hey, this game's gonna be releasing January 2025, right? Boom. We're like, ooh, we're excited. Next thing you know, an announcement comes out saying Project Mugen is going into beta, open beta, closed beta, testing now, January, the same month. People are gonna drop this game. That's how this game has no substance to it, bro. It's not gonna last long. Oh, what is the point to any of this shit? It's whatever, bro. You can see what I said already, my good things, my bad things, my questions, and how I'm feeling right now, because this game is not gonna survive. It's not, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. You just have to come better. You have to try better. That's it. That's all I gotta say, man. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. I'll be posting new videos, you know. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.